What do you do when you finally start succeeding massively with the law of attraction and then all of a sudden it stops working? Hey, it's Andrew, otherwise known as that guy who wrote the last law of attraction book you'll ever need to read. And today I've got a really special video for you. I'm answering a really important question. And this road that I'm going to be taking you down, a lot of people have been there. You might have been there yourself. So I think this is obviously a really important topic to cover. But before we get there, doing the quick YouTube thing, I want to invite you to please like this video. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that bell notification. Make sure you don't miss any upcoming videos because I've got a lot more fun ones on the way and a lot more important ones where I answer questions like I'm answering today. With that said, let's dive straight into this one. And, full disclosure, I've changed my answer a little bit. And I've also changed the name of the person who wrote in just because I want to give them a little sense of privacy. It's always a case by case basis with me of do I share the actual person's name or not. I go with my gut. So this time, just know this is not the name of the person who wrote this letter. But with that said, here's an email I got very recently. It says, Andrew, as you know, last year was an amazing year. I manifested everything I wanted. This year's been tougher in my job area. My sales have slowed, harder to make my numbers, and I feel like I'm blocking the flow. Any tips to get out of a slump? It's emotional for me, so there's a lot of energy there. Thank you. Okay, that's from Laura, and again, you can tell by the way she wrote that when she said there's a lot of energy. Obviously, she means there's a lot of emotion there. There is a lot of resistance. There's a lot of stress. And when you think about it, when there's a lot of emotion and a lot of stress, there is a lot of opportunity to go down the rabbit hole of bad things and really get negative momentum and all of a sudden stop your progress and really reverse your progress. So really, we want to stop that momentum right away and get back on track. And with that in mind, here is mostly what I wrote back to Laura in addressing her question and making sure that she got back on the right track. So I began my reply to Laura by saying, "Hi, Laura. I'm not saying for sure this happened with you, but sometimes when people get so much at once like you did, they don't realize it, but there's this letting up of sorts. They're letting their foot off of the pedal. They allow themselves to get lax and they stop being as consistent as they were in doing what was working for them. Really, what they often do here is they just stop doing the methods on a consistent basis because things are going so well, they figure, hey, I don't need to do that. And technically, that's true in a vacuum where you are not surrounded by negative voices and negative influences and all these other things. But when you are in this real world environment and you always want to be cognizant of the fact that there is negativity that might be obvious or not so obvious, it is strategically intelligent and strategically sound and really the right move to always stick with 5 minutes a day, to always stick with the same attitude and vibration of, I'm leaving this open to the universe. I'm confident, I feel good, I'm choosing methods that feel good, and I'm just allowing it in through that good feeling with the understanding that I'm doing some of the heavy lifting when I'm inspired, and the universe is doing the heavy lifting when I don't know what to do, and it's got the wheel at that point. So really, a lot of people, when they have that success with the law of attraction, they've got that sweet spot. They're doing their part, they're letting the universe do its part, and it's all just a wonderful harmony of everything. But most importantly, again, they're on that track where they're motivated and they're excited and they're just doing the methods every single day. And again, I'm not saying this happened with Laura, but I'm saying this happens with a lot of people, and that's where things really get off the rails. Now, in continuing my letter to her, I said, this is perfectly natural and okay, but very often it's also subtle. You don't notice you're actually doing this because you're so busy in the flow of life. So by the time people notice this when they're doing it, they're surprised and they're disappointed in seeing what feels like a sudden shift in their tangible results. And by that point, it already feels like a runaway train because there's a fear and a resistance about going back to how things were before all that good stuff came. There's this deep-seated worry that they'll lose it all again, and they don't know if they'll be able to make it back. Even if they can make it back, they just don't want to climb that hill all over again. It feels too cumbersome. It was so hard the first time. It took them so long to finally get straightened out, and here they are back at square one, right? Well, here is where the good news comes in, because that hill has already been climbed and it's already been conquered. Even if you had to do another climb, even if you had to conquer another hill, it's a brand new hill because you've already shown your ego that it's safe to succeed to the level that you already have. So regardless of where you are at this point right now, this can be turned around for you all over again, but your best bet in doing so is in reminding yourself of a few really important things. Number one, your new experience of success might not look like the prior one. So get out of your head with all the expectations again of how it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to unfold, the part that the universe has to handle, the part that you have to handle. It's a whole new ball game. It could be the same thing, but it could be completely different as well. It could look in a completely new way, and you want to be ready for that. You want to be open to that. You want to be able to invite that in just as easily as you invited in that last stream of success. Point number 2 to remember is the universe is still on your side and it is still conspiring in your favor. All it's waiting for you is to just lean back into it, lean back into the methods, lean back into feeling good, and let the momentum pick up from there. So I'm actually going to be doing an upcoming video on this. The universe really is on your side. It really is. It's not even conspiring, it's scheming on your behalf. It's really moving a lot of pieces in place, and it's just waiting for you to be open to that, to send out that signal so that it can then mirror that signal back to you. And again, with that understanding of the last point where it might not look like the last thing, you want to have that openness and really allow things to take over and really allow things to pick up in any way that they might do so. The next point here is you want to keep thinking about how awesome that most recent wave of success in your life really was. You really want to let yourself soak in the gratitude for everything that it's been for you, how much of a blessing it's been in your life, how much of an impact it's made for you, how many advances and changes and improvements and upgrades that you've done in your life experience through that wave of success. You really want to lean into that. You really want to acknowledge it. You really want to notice it. You really want to be grateful for it. There is a power there. Remember, thinking about anything, your prior successes, your current successes, your upcoming successes, it's all the same vibration. So by having this crystal clear example of how things have gone so well for you, this is basically going to be a great way to reinforce and invite even more success, regardless of the form that that new level of success might take. Again, it could be the same version, it could be a new version, it could be a mix, who knows? But again, you just want to be really grateful. You really want to think about and acknowledge about all this wonderful success. Because if you're thinking about like, oh my God, the progress has stopped, well, you're on the wrong wavelength there. If you're thinking about like, where's the momentum? It feels like I'm in a slump. You use that word slump. Laura used the word slump. If you're thinking about the slump versus the home runs and the doubles and the triples and all the runs that you've scored, think about what your focus is. You want that focus on saying, wow, what a great run it's been. What a great ride. And maybe this ride continues, or maybe a new ride comes in, but I am focusing on that success because strategically speaking, that's where all the power really is. That's where all the gold really is. Now, another really huge point that you want to keep in mind here, especially by virtue of the fact that you have been in what you see as being a slump, well, there might still be more of a dip in your experiences and your results before things improve again. Again, everything that you're experiencing right now is a result of prior thoughts. So if your prior thoughts were of negative things, well, there might be a slight little nudge, a slight little dip in there before things go in that upturn again, which is why you want to, as soon as possible, go back to focusing on good things, as soon as possible, focusing on 5 minutes a day or more if you want, as soon as possible, acknowledging that run of success that you really just enjoyed. And understand that if there is a dip, it's okay. It's a temporary dip. It's temporary so long as you go back to doing the things that have worked, so long as you go back to the things that are going to produce those results for you. So again, the dip happens, well, as long as you're being consistent with your daily gratitude or any other methods without worrying about the how, without worrying about the when, without worrying about any kind of level with which the things are actually going to improve, but just trusting that they will, well, that's where the magic is. And yes, I realize, by the way, that's not always easy, especially since you had this run of success and then it feels like a slump. It's not easy to do that. It's not easy to trust again. It's very easy to fall into that trap of worry and regret and fear and uncertainty. But that's where the trap is. And the gold is in that other area where you're acknowledging where you've been, knowing that there's more to come, whether it's that same form or a different form. This is key. This is vital. This brings me to the last big point that I want to make here. I want to remind you, you made an amazing shift. There is no reason why you can't make another one. There's no reason why it can't be even grander. But by that same token, your next wave of success might have more subtlety to it because you're now operating on a new level of consciousness, whether you realize it or not. A new level of consciousness that already knows such a high level of success that you've already achieved. Think about this. You have already climbed that hill. You've already achieved massive results. You've already experienced amazing changes here. And what? All of a sudden now you feel like you're in a slump and now the law of attraction doesn't work all of a sudden? It's been working. What do you think is the higher likelihood here? That the law of attraction doesn't work after all? or that it did, and then without realizing it, you stopped doing the things that were working so well for you and that were inviting so much success, which again is nothing more complicated than simply saying, all right, 5 minutes a day or more if I want, of gratitude or visualization or any way of feeling good while thinking about what I have or thinking about what I want or both. But again, you reached that level of success. You've enjoyed it. You engaged the law of attraction, you engaged the universe, and you got such huge wins, such huge victories, such tremendous triumphs. You've made it. You've demonstrated for yourself in your own life experience that this works. And once you do that, there's no going back, because it's not some guru telling you this. It's not an author or a YouTuber. It's not even my book. It's no one else. It's you. It's your own personal life experience. Maybe you used my book, maybe you used somebody else's book or someone else's videos or my videos, who knows? But whatever you used, you got there yourself. You got there with you and just the universe, and now you know this. Nobody can take that away from you. Don't let yourself take it away from you. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge that you did this, because once you understand that, you know that it's possible all over again. It's possible, and not even possible, but probable, but likely for the rest of your life. You're at that level now. You've achieved it. With all that said, with as much openness as possible, Laura or anyone else, I would highly recommend just diving back into the methods on a daily basis. And again, don't expect things to unfold in the same way or at the same speed. They might be slower, they might be faster. Who knows how it's going to unfold, but it's important to not have any requirements on this and just enjoy your life to whatever measure you can. Just invite results to whatever measure you can. Do the methods for 5 minutes a day, knowing things are going to get better, knowing you have achieved this and you can achieve even more. Again, the whole point of doing the manifestation methods in my book and the videos that I teach here is that you have fun for just those few minutes each and every day that you're doing the methods. That's all it comes down to. That is the magic recipe. That's the magic formula. That is the blueprint for your manifestational success. Finally, I have a quote that I want to share with you. And actually, I found this quote on social media the day that Laura emailed me, and it was perfect. So I shared it with her, and therefore I think it's really good to share it with you, given all the other content that we just covered here. This quote is by Paul Coelho. I think I'm pronouncing that name right. And the quote is this: "An arrow can only be shot by pulling it backwards. When life is dragging you back with difficulties, it means it's going to launch you into something great. So just focus and keep aiming." Now that is a quote I can get behind, and that is a quote I highly recommend you really adhere to and that you really pay attention to. This message right now, it's meant for you. If you're wondering if this message today is for somebody else, it's not. It's for you. It's you watching this right now. This is for you, so please acknowledge it and use it and leverage it to gain more success and invite manifestational momentum and invite and attract and manifest the things that you really want in your life. You can do it. Remember, your next wave of success, it might be in an expected format or a completely different one. You never know what it's going to be. Just let the universe pleasantly surprise you and go from there. And by all means, Laura or anyone else, please feel welcome to let me know when it does. Share your success stories with me. Share your good news. I love hearing about it. And speaking of hearing from you, well, now I want to hear from you. Do me a favor, comment below. Let me know any thoughts you have based on today's message, based on my answer. What kind of thoughts come to mind? Because you never know. What you put down in the comments might inspire somebody else watching this video and reading those comments. And any positive comment that you put down, that's going to get you entered into this month's contest, where one lucky winner will walk away with lifetime access to Gravity of the Cosmos, my advanced level full immersion guided program for manifesting your every desire through the law of attraction. This is the program where I'm going to take you through 90 straight days of manifesting methods in only a few minutes a day, so that you don't have to worry or wonder about what method to do or when to do it, and you can just sit back and relax and follow along as I guide you through 3 full months of massive vibrational momentum toward manifesting the life that you've always wanted. And if you're looking for a free test drive of the program, well, my book, The Last Law of Attraction Book You'll Ever Need to Read, has a special link to bonuses, one of which includes the first few days of Gravity of the Cosmos, free of charge, so you can try it before you buy it. And you can find my book by going to lastlawofattractionbook.com. That'll auto forward to the Amazon listing, where you can get it in Kindle or paperback or audiobook. And P.S. the Kindle version's only $4 in US dollars. I keep it very affordable because I want people to have access to this information. So if you're wondering, $4 is all it's going to cost you to get this book on Kindle. Or you might want the paperback, or you might want the audiobook. Those are a little more, but either format, whatever way you go with, it's definitely worth it. Trust me on that. And speaking of my book, I want to quickly end this video by spotlighting a recent review and thank one of my awesome readers for sharing their feedback on it. Today's 5-star review was left by Patricia on March 26, 2021, with the subject heading, "Meet you where you are without any of the woo-woo." And it reads, "Loved this book. Andrew breaks it down into digestible pieces that make sense and are actionable. A quick and easy read, full of energy, love, and positivity. Don't miss out." Wow, Patricia, I gotta tell you, I read that review. I only had one reaction. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate that review. I can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate that you love the book so much. And really just thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for reading the book. And most importantly, thank you for using the content in it. I truly, truly appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you watching this right now, so thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. Make sure you don't miss any future videos because I've got a lot more interesting and fun and useful ones on the way. Stay tuned. I will see you next time.